Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a glimpse into the future of automotive perfection. Prepare to be captivated by its unrivaled beauty, a symphony of lines and curves that ignite desire at first glance. Venture into the unknown, where boundaries are shattered and limits are redefined. But remember, once you step, there is no turning back. Embrace the future, where power, elegance, and innovation collide. This is the new BMW 7, a force that will leave you breathless.
I don't wanna go down the road that I've been before. I wanna go see the world where I've never been before. I wanna see all these people that I've never met before. I wanna go give you everything and everything and more. I'm like,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we have a test drive on the main channel. There aren't many cars left in this world that I really want to talk about. To be honest, one of them is the Land Rover. It has broken away, and I don't really feel like talking about it. But nevertheless, I've always said that BMW makes a great 7 Series. The rest, well, they don't appeal to me as much as the 7 Series. If only they hadn't moved the 7 Series to the Clar platform. Nonetheless, everything else has started to grow on me. But at last, we have a new deity, a new idol, and a new Her Majesty, the 7. Let's go! Our budget for buying a car is around $20,000, but it can vary depending on the specifications. In our case today, we have a fully electrified version, the so-called i7, with an index of 60. This gives us 544 horsepower, naturally with all-wheel drive. And forget about gasoline. There is nowhere to refuel it traditionally. Of course, there is a fuel tank here, but if you open it, you won't find any gasoline inside. It can simply accommodate either a Type 2 charging cable or 2 charging cables, depending on whether it's AC or DC charging. So it will charge just like any other car, if we hide our enthusiasm. The best part is that in addition to all these features, they added some magic to the package. Yes, it can open doors by itself, if it feels like it. Damn, we've been struggling with this car for days. My key was in my pocket. You're using it wrong. I don't understand why it didn't open automatically here. Just because I was standing nearby. How do I close it? I think you need to press and hold. Just push it. No, that doesn't work. If you push it, the servo will partially close. You get what I mean. Technologies that are so mind-blowing that even a dog wouldn't understand them. There is never any certainty whether it will work or not. Okay, it happened, good. By the way, it's like Rolls-Royce. Agreed, we don't need Rolls-Royce anymore. Great. Now how do we close it? Ours sometimes closes randomly, following some unknown algorithm.
1 hour later.
And you can't even clap to make it close. It resists clapping, by the way, but sometimes it does close. I don't know what it wants. Maybe you have to stand a certain way. Let's try. It opens just now. Try to push the button before closing. Nikita, not bad, not bad. How did you do that? Let's try. It opened just now. Wonderful. It opens very conveniently. there is a tiny click, and at that moment it starts closing. Honestly, there is no such button on the key. Hold on, if we try close it by pressing the lock button while the door is open, something should happen. All right. That's it, it closed. It closed. You don't see? And if you hold it, hold the button. Keep holding it until the end. That's what I did, it didn't let go. Now it's definitely closed. Yeah, without your advice, I wouldn't have figured it out today. Let me try again. I press and hold. These time-advancing technologies will drive you crazy, I'm telling you. Just after a couple of days of using this car, you'll be furious, because you'll realize that something knows how it works, whether it's the key or the trunk. At least the trunk still opens the same way, which is good. And it closes the same way too. Yeah, you still need to hold the handle. For example, if you are closing the trunk, and it's not closing like it should, as it's happening right now. If you let go right now, it won't close properly. It's scary how everything looks. But the car has changed so much that when you first get into a BMW, well, let's not say anything. Everything is so bad that it would be better if it didn't exist at all, honestly. The G11 is top of the line today, to be honest. But even when you get inside, you won't understand if you're in a BMW or some new Chinese brand that brought its funky electric cars to Russia. And there are so many of these options here, because from BMW, all that remains in the cabin is the steering wheel and a bit of the upper lighting panel. Everything else feels like it's from some other car. And the design of the rear end, well, it's not something you'd want to look at without shedding a tear. Especially the aerodynamic styling and this beautiful, magnificent bumper, which seems to have lost its touch of M-package excitement along the way, so to speak. Let's move on. One of the convenient things that actually work pretty well is when you approach the car. You open the door, and it's actually much easier and more convenient to open it in the old-fashioned way with the handle, if you will. Just get in the car, and then at the moment when you press the stop button with your foot, the door starts closing. But let's say you did it like this for some reason. Every time you hit the brakes, it slightly squeezes you. That's cool. But honestly, with all these buttons, I have a strong suspicion that after the second week, you'll stop using them altogether. Because no matter what, it's easier and faster to just open the damn door the usual way. There is nothing complicated about it. It's possible. It was strange, right? Agree with me. What could be simpler than just opening the door the usual way? No, nothing complicated about it. Maybe you pushed the wrong button. It was not accurately, hold on. Well, it's much easier to open and close it with your hand, seriously. There is no joke with all these buttons and assistants. All right, folks. It's a tense moment, even a bit nerve-wracking. If you want nervousness, well, this is it, because I accidentally pressed the climate control menu button. Yeah, there is gesture control, and it seems to be working. It's like rewinding back and forth, adjusting the volume, the usual stuff. That's cool. I really like all these features, but it's my normal menu here. I have some kind of home screen with information. I press the climate control menu. And now there is a whole lot going on. Sometimes you start to get overwhelmed by it. There is more than you anticipated, but still nothing too extraordinary. What is this? It's like a rhythmic beat? It's a rhythm. Interesting. All this camera quality, it's a masterpiece. We're trapped in this now, there is no escaping. Damn, we're so huge. When you first get into this car, it's a bit challenging to understand where the front part of the car ends, but somehow we figured it out. I'm even starting to stutter. There is so much information bombarding me in this car. Even if I look at the instrument cluster right now, I just can't, because if I were to take a quick glance, wow, there is so much going on. You guys, did you change something? Like the layout or style on the instrument cluster? No? Or maybe you did, but you can change the style somehow. Let me check. Boost is not needed now. Sport mode. Sport boost content. Layout. How many... Oh, look, layouts. I can create here. So many futuristic options. Oh, I can change head-up. Yeah, folks, we need some content here. Here, speed. There we go. Excellent layout. Let's keep it like this for now. Something like that, you know. The car is jam-packed with everything, no doubt about that. But for a first encounter, it's a bit too much to handle at once. It overwhelms you. Even though the salon is supposed to have a minimalist style. Everything is minimalistic. Look at this key, for example, it's simple. And here, guys, on one hand, you disagreed with me that the previous model, the G11, had that super smartphone key that you could drive with. But here in the new model, the key has become much simpler. Well, maybe that's for the best, because we don't need the functions of the smartphone key anymore. Everything it had is already in our smartphones. And this thing has much more than just a key. It's always with you, unlike the old key. And here we can even set up some extra, like... Yeah, I set up some content projection. Now my mind is blown. You can't even imagine. Wait, maybe I'll record this as a quick video. There you go. That's how the projection looks now, with some checkbox and something else drawn on it. Just fantastic, really. Yeah, it's... Yeah. It's all unusual. From the two pedals on the steering wheel, we're left with one, and it only has boost on it. You automatically switch into some charged modes, into M or sport mode, it's something charged. And apparently, you can exit the boost mode by pressing and holding it, if I understand correctly. And this icon with the little folder. That's the glove compartment, right? It's not bad, actually. These are things I love. And it's even drawn like a folder. And when you open it, there's actually something like a folder inside. Okay, let's go now. Well, how else was it supposed to drive? It's awesome. Of course, I don't even know what wheels we have or anything. Well, it just rides amazingly. Especially for a big city sedan. Specifically a city sedan. The electric aspect is well done here. It isolates you nicely from external noise. Overall, it's pretty great. I don't want to hit the gas. Regenerative braking actively working on the gas pedal, but I understand that it's all controlled by one pedal. I looked around, examined everything. It was very interesting, but I haven't found a setting yet to make the car drive entirely with just one pedal. In any case, when you release the gas completely, it rolls a little, as if it has a traditional automatic transmission, like Tesla. Full one-pedal driving is not available here yet. And it's not available in Audi or many other electric cars. I don't know why certain manufacturers don't implement one-pedal control. It would be really cool. Well, in terms of comfort, you don't really feel the acceleration. It's there and I see it on the speedometer, but the sensation is traditional for the 7 Series. Why did I always say that the 760 didn't need the attention and to go for the 750 LD instead? Because yes, that car could reach 3.7 and you could read newspapers in the back. I think there is no discomfort or direct impact from the equipment. Well, let's switch to sport mode. Here the sound is more prominent. But again, you didn't fly off anywhere in the back. How correct is all this? And it already exited the boost mode. Damn, that sound is interesting. Well, it's a 7 Series, what can I say? I'll probably be surprised if someone criticized this car for not having the right chassis. It's probably impossible because this car is designed for relaxation, for family, for a leisurely drive. But this sound at the start, let's see. The sound gives you a thrill, not the acceleration. And it even exits the boost mode as soon as you release the gas. Back to comfort. So when you press this boost button, you get an acceleration, even a slight one. Then it's like a pop. And even seconds are counted for how long you have left in the boost. It's similar to what Porsche has got, what it's called. They have a button for it, something like Sports Response. You activate this boost, it starts, and you have 10 seconds of boost, where you can be fast. That's why you only need one pedal. 3, 2, 1, the car exits the boost. And together with the boost, the side bolsters on the seat engage, giving me a tight hug. We'll need to give it a little push, but constantly giving it a lot here probably won't be necessary. Let's see what we have here. Are there any drive modes? It switches to some extreme sport mode. There are numerous options, and we attract a lot of attention. People really look at us in traffic because this car is very unusual for this world. It looks like something directly from another reality. Let's see. Wait. Look at this. Look. How is this possible? These things are really annoying because it's purely a design flaw, a factory oversight. And it all hangs down like this, look. It will always flow from the top here. What the hell? To prevent this, you have to wipe it, and then it will flow from here again. Because you know it will form, this bird. A big wiper wipes up to this point, and your small driver's wiper wipes from this point to unit up with this mess. And it will flow again. Look. It will keep flowing, and you will constantly be in this position, wiping with these wipers. And you can't do anything about. This is the exact point where it will keep flowing no matter what. And you will keep wiping forever. Oh, this is the old G11. Wow, it's all the same. Well, the continuity is evident, especially with the lighting. They are very similar, although of course they are redesigned. The ceiling in our case is Alcantara, and it's such a dense Alcantara, not thin and exquisite. This is a luxurious thing. That's an interesting thing. The control for the ventilation, I suspect. You won't see any vents. There are none in front or the back. The question is how to control all of this. And everywhere there are these standard sliders that are 4 positions. They move vertically and horizontally, and you adjust the air vents with them. It's cool, but it would be nice to have a visualization of these airflows somewhere on the monitor. However, you adjust it all intuitively. So you move these sliders, but you have no idea exactly what you're adjusting. It's strange because, for example, Tesla has a visualization of these flows when you adjust them with the touch screen. It's the same in the Panamera, no problems there. You still see where the air deflectors are directed, showing you what you're adjusting. Here, for some reason, you can't adjust anything. Even if I turn on the climate control menu, where I adjust airflows with this thing. I have many of them here in the middle, and there are the same ones on the right deflector for the passengers in the back. But nothing happens, and I don't know where the air is blowing. Yes, I understand that after some time, my magic number will understand if it's blowing or not. But I miss that visualization. It's funny. The cup holders in the front, they go down with some complicated system. They don't just retract, and they do it in this way. We have the traditional movement here. 2 Type-C sockets to charge, or anything else like a glove box. Nothing particularly interesting. The main tile that used to be touch sensitive, it spins, and you can perform all the functions on the monitor without touching it, in case you don't want to reach for it. And the most important thing I wanted to say is about seat adjustments. They are now located on the top edges of the doors. You see, it's a normal system, and many others have it too. And it has become simpler. Before, when you touched the seat's adjustments, you would have a visualization on the monitor that showed you what you were touching and what settings were available for the seats. But now none of that happens. The system has become simpler, visually at least cheaper. And the seat adjustments that are accessible from the door are just adjustments for the backrest and the lower cushion of the seat, where your fifth point rests. But there are many more adjustments, and now you have to go into the comfort seats menu to access them. That's right. And now we can press and move things separately. For example, the folding backrests, which are here, can be adjusted separately. There are many more adjustments, but I remind you that earlier you could do all this calmly with one switch. How the car moves. Damn. It's just amazing. We're just gliding here. How long we have been recording videos? We're just gliding. We're not even moving. You don't even realize where those rails were that we were driving on. I was waiting for them the whole left turn, just to emphasize and say how it crosses the rails. I don't know how it crosses those rails, you don't feel them. There is no information here about whether those rails were below at all. To put it mildly, if children are watching us, we'll cover it up. We'll maintain a high level of culture, of course. The view is fantastic, to say the least. I don't know what will happen now. We'll talk about their cleaners. Perhaps we'll actually feel them. And all of this is in some default settings. I don't know what settings the suspension and other things are in. In the luxury segment, there is a slight delay in button response. So when you want to move the seat, it doesn't move right away. You press it, wait for half a second, and then the seat starts moving, even with a slight acceleration. It's smooth as possible. These are the luxury segment features that should be in it. Everything works differently here. It's not a business class, not C-class. It's the executive class, a higher class. In BMW, there won't be anything else above this. Although on this platform, they will probably show us a couple of Rolls-Royces later. But for now, they're still in development. The 7 Series, on the other hand, is already driving on this electric platform, and everything should be exactly like this. What I miss is the good old volume knob. It's been replaced with this thing, the Volkswagen one. Yes, you can press it, you can turn it, but in the Touareg, damn, it was nice. Not bad at all, but I still like the old good rotary knob with the rubberized. Damn, they put this beautiful little rim around it. Maybe something ceramic with backlighting. But this menu has become simplified. It's also funny. And what's interesting is that in this gear selector, you won't find the P button. This gear selector doesn't have a parking mode. It's physically impossible to engage the parking mode in this car. If you want to simply stop and to exit the car, you just have to put it in park. So the car is ready for you to get out. There is no parking mode. If you want to drive again, here it lights up, and all you have to do is press it, and you have drive. In addition to drive, there is also boost. Oh, that's drive, and that's B and D. What does this mode mean? What does the B mode mean? It's not a boost, it's not on. Where? Eagerly waiting to see what happens. Telephone. And here we can choose devices, connect Bluetooth. I'm sure all these wireless movements. So we're driving in B mode. What does it mean? Oh, this is interesting. It regenerates differently. Maybe this is the same mode for one-pedal driving. Look, now something happened with the suspension. Look, it's parked. There are joints where it hesitates. Yes, it hesitates at those points. So what is B? Let me stop now. Yes, 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 yes. I'll stop now. Yes. Well done. That was accidental. One pedal driving, and it's called B, and it changes everything. Yes, and that's it. Now we're driving in Tesla mode using one pedal. Wonderful. It's brilliant. You guys are awesome. Simply awesome. Listen, the speed bumper has a strange suspension. It feels like we're falling from the speed bump into a bumper. Yes, indeed. After the speed bump, it doesn't squat, it immediately falls into the bumper. Why? Why are you doing this to us? 7 Series. We probably have the chassis control. Yes, chassis control is not available. Chassis stiffness is the only thing available. All right. All the familiar sets are here. Sport, individual, comfort. There are more down below. We can activate the theater, digital art, expressive, the sound. The sound of drones. What? Wait, what are flashbacks? Efficient. Eco mode for efficient driving. Oh, this is cool. Let's do next one. What is this? Sport. No, let's try comfort. There is comfort. There is personal, efficient, expressive, relax. What? Nikita, put your clothes back on. The car is undressing you. Background music is playing. Can't you hear it? It's psychedelic. It emits some subtone that programs me for impulsive actions, and the massage is on. That's great. Okay, theater, digital art. Oh my god, who spilled ink? What happened? Anyway, I'm here for relaxation. After all, we're in the 7 Series. Relaxation should also include control. Let's ride on one wheel or... some electronic choir in the background. What the psychedelic settings? It's very unusual, and well, the sound is quiet when you press the accelerator. It's great. We're already drifting sideways, but I can stop the acceleration because I want to hear this prayer to the end. What's happening? I'm pressing the brake and the gas at the same time. It feels like you're hearing your own guardian angel saying, "Hold on. Please, don't do that." Wait, let's try it in expressive mode. Let's see. And in sport mode, I'm afraid to imagine. Such an atmospheric. Personal? No, there's nothing. Damn it, guys, this is just... it's mind-blowing digital art. There is nothing like it. Of course, relaxation is my homage. Let's do it again. I just want to experience it one more time. I probably won't have a car like this ever again. I don't know how to live with this now, but I need to do that. This is the most extraordinary car. It keeps playing in the background. We need to take a break. It feels like it's not just stress parking. You know, it's all black, black on black, shadow line. It's strange that the wheels aren't completely black. Everything is black. It's like the black color has a problem. It consumes volume. There are so many edges here, but they are hard to see because of the black color. Thank God I have smart operators with me. They'll film this car in the dark and smoke. Will the door open if there's something in front of it? No, of course not. The door won't open. It will stay like that until the obstacle is removed. It won't open if the obstacle is bigger. So if I step back a bit now, the door would open or close like this, or something like this. It's a bit awkward. So close the door and open it like this. That's how it works. It's first. How did you open the hood? Don't tell me it's through the menu. No, there is still something physical here. Wait a moment. Wow, they've hidden everything. Since we have electric cars, but they are not always electric, as there are hybrid versions too. There might be an IPAV, I guess. Damn, I had to get used to it. I agree. Here we can have a B58 engine in our case, or maybe not. We have the 60 configuration. It's not closed yet. Well, it's not a problem. There are ways to close it peacefully. There is a shield under which a wide variety of things can be hidden. In our case, we have inverters, electric motors, everything you're used to seeing in electric cars, starting from the Nissan Leaf to the Audis and so on. But however, even by the stock of this place and by the layout, it is clear that it is relatively traditional. Here the same B58 will fit together with an electric motor. But due to this, there is no traditional trunk space that is usually located at the front. Even it's a small compartment for charging cables. You'll have a whole bunch of them. They're in our trunk now. Usually there is a niche for all that here. But in this case, it's not there. So the rear end looks like Armenians visited Khan Design Studio and put on some body kits. Well, it should have more rigid bumpers, at least in my opinion, considering we are talking about the 7 Series. The car is just standing here. Let's say it can reverse now. This is the whole indication of reverse that exists in this life of the new 7 Series. And if you're standing behind it in traffic and it unexpectedly starts moving backwards, and you don't understand why, you probably need to get out of your car, approach the 7 Series, bend down and see if the reverse light is on. But that's not a big deal. Let's say you want to tow something. If you haven't started towing yet, you have a wonderful electric tow hitch. It quickly extends. It's cool, it attaches nicely, and it's already available. And if you now engage the reverse, it becomes a pointless story. Let's say you don't have a trailer yet, and you simply forgot to remove it. In this way, the reverse light shines directly onto the tow hitch itself. The trunk itself is not remarkable. It's not the biggest because a large part of the trunk floor is occupied by the electric motor, battery packs, and all those electric guts that remain instead of the floor. Traditionally, your cables take up that space. You even get several of them in the package, along with the traditional sets of earrings, wheel locks, and other things. They all fit here on the side. For example, even a full-size spare tire or a temporary spare tire can be placed here, but in this case it's impossible. Well, it's been a long time since BMWs have had only puncture sealant and a standard compressor to inject it if you have a flat tire. To open the trunk, firstly you have a key fob with a button, and secondly you probably have gesture control, which won't work now because the car is on. But to simply open the trunk, you need a button that will always be very dirty, covered in everything possible. In summer it will be covered in dust, and in winter it will be covered in a layer of dirt. Also, we have a camera that doesn't have a washer. It has. There is a washer? Seriously? It comes out from below? The propeller symbol rises in the middle. Propeller? You have a knife? Come on, let's do this. Sure. Now I'll even remove the logo. I don't know. No, why? Yes? That's how it works, folks. It's easy money. That's it, thanks. That button, it will be always dirty, but I'm sure we can open it with a gesture control. I don't believe it doesn't have gesture control. Yes, it has it. And they added another button, which, by the way, looks quite disgusting through all of this. It's a glossy black button and a glossy black trunk. You have to hold it down, BMW. Let go, it won't close anymore. Well, it's always dirty even now. And by the way, it's already starting to get stuck a bit. Let's see. Well, can I do that? Opening and closing. Great logic. In any case, there is something to strive for. In principle, this button could have been removed, at least in extreme cases. I was extremely surprised. It was very interesting to understand how it feels in the rear seat. Even if we jump off the curb conditionally, it can be felt at all. Of course, it feels as comfortable in the rear as it does in the front, which is logical for the 7 Series. As for the long version, it feels like it's neat. I don't know if this is the long version or not, but based on my feelings, it seems to be the short one, because just look at how I'm sitting. Look at my knees. I won't be able to extend my legs forward when the front passenger is sitting. Well, yes, he leans back nicely. For example, the passenger is sitting as comfortably as Vladislav. He's comfortable for himself, but it still feels like I want to stretch my legs. This, I think, is the first sign that it's not quite a long version. Seems like it should be longer. I'll have to find out about this. Honestly, we haven't checked yet. In general, apart from that, I'm sitting in my default settings. And I have an upright posture. I'm just sitting like a passenger in a taxi. In addition, since this is still a construction class, on my screen here, on the right, I can select the seat option. And here there will be a reclining function. For example, right now I activated the launch position, and the front seat starts moving. And I already see a flaw because the headrest on this front seat can never tilt. If it were my favorite Range Rover, or let's say my favorite S-Class, when I move forward, its headrest drops at the end like this. And firstly, it provides better visibility for the driver in the right mirror. And secondly, it gives me a view of the windshield. For example, right now, I can still see the headrest in my windshield. It's from the seat, and it won't go anywhere because it can tilt like this. I'm reclining nicely, and the footrest is extending. It extends like this, and this is how it sits for me now. Oh, I'm even driving like this. It adjusts further. In addition, we have an Ottoman gentleman. It's a direct continuation of the seat, meaning the lower cushion of the seat is inseparable from it. It visually looks very cool, like one big thing. But the footrest, where my feet are now, is very narrow. My heels barely fit on it. They even slip off a bit. And to prevent that, I need to go to the settings of the front seat on this screen, press the cushion here, and through this screen, adjust the entire front seat. Probably like this. Now maybe a bit higher. Now I've adjusted it perfectly. But I want to say that still this footrest should be wider and softer here. Then it would be more comfortable. Because now it's made of leather, with a little padding, but it's quite firm. So if I took off my shoes right now, as you should do like normal people, but after this video we'll immediately go for detailing, clean everything, and say just step on the footrest with bare feet, it probably won't be as comfortable. For example, the way it's made in my Range Rover or S-Class, there is a very soft and nice cushion, and you put your feet on it and relax. Nevertheless, you can still relax here without any problems. I'm sitting super comfortably, super cool. It doesn't eliminate the fact that I'm still staring at the same headrest of the seat. I can't get away from it. I would, of course, release the screen now and look at the movie here if the screen were as big as a brick. Unfortunately. In general, well, you're sitting great. The only thing missing is additional buttons here because, for example, now I want to perform two simple actions. Let's bring the seat back to its default settings, meaning from a lying position to a sitting position. For this I need to press something here now, press it again, press reset. Everything started to unfold for me, and now I want to raise the window blind. Well, I can't do it now because my screen is occupied with adjusting the seat positions, and there is no physical button to raise the blinds. For example, I don't have it here. Therefore, I have to wait until the seats return to their upright position. We're waiting for that now. And after that, my amazing little screen will be available to me again, where I will press the necessary button and raise the blind. So if there were physically more buttons here, at least like in the previous G11 model, then there wouldn't be such issues. I could simply use a button without any additional holes or all these cyber screen implementations to raise the blind and perform some necessary basic key options that are frequently used and could be useful to me. But here, there is none of that. Everything is brought onto the screen. Without it, you can't do anything. You can turn on the massage, the seat heating, the seat ventilation, or raise the blinds. All of that is done through one screen. On the one hand, yes, it's convenient to have all these functions in one place, but on the other hand, it means that you have to do everything through the screen. And since there are so many functions here, you end up having to press and select menus, figure out those menus, customize them for yourself, and so on. As a result, you're constantly tapping on this screen. There is an understanding that such cars are often purchased by people who, so to speak, come from the old formation. Therefore, the S-Class, for example, is often considered a conservative representative class of cars. Many Land Rover owners, for instance, love Land Rover precisely because it feels a bit wooden and primitive in a way. Oh, you notice this? It falls to bump. It's like the way the speed bump work. It has that strange drop. It's not squatting after speed bump. It falls immediately. And that's a speed bump. For some reason our speed bump do that. I think it's to compensate. But it turns out there is no way to fix it. It falls down completely. It's like on the Kia K5. It's great, but a bit more expensive. And of course, the main feature of the rear row is the insane rear screen. The Alpha is going overboard. Now we can hear the sound like this, and I find myself in a cinema mode, and the rear display appears. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is where the adventures with this display ends, and it can be folded back and put away. Unfortunately, all the blinds cannot be retracted simultaneously because in this case the display is occupied. Let's now retract all the blinds again and turn on the display. Today we won't be able to do it. I still need to navigate through the menus. Go into the blinds, open everything up, and return to this position. In order for this screen to work, you need to log into BMW ID. Vladislav has it because he owns a BMW, so we logged in. But his BMW is not compatible because apparently it needs to be registered and linked to the database. As a result, now half of the car's multimedia functions are represented by a brick. And unfortunately, we can't do anything about it. These are the new fancy cars. The screen has an HDMI port located on its backside. There is a Type-C port and a port for headphones. It seems like it's all doable, but all the options related to controlling this TV are also displayed on the right side. They are all grayed out now and don't work, and clicking on them doesn't bring up any useful hints. We've spent an hour now trying to connect something, and even though nothing has been connected, everything else is great. The panoramic roof is beautiful, and the windows are great. You feel like a king driving it. The only thing you don't want to do is remove the armrest, because otherwise the car turns into a regular. Well, just a regular car. Yeah, it's just an ordinary car now. At the back we have a compartment for gloves, wireless charging, Type-C charging, and there's even a ski hatch. I remind you that in all this luxury you can still go skiing because there is a hatch at the back for access to either the trunk or simply to fold the skis. In short, it's cool, but it could have been even cooler. The main problem with this 7 Series is that it's strange. Imagine if, for example, let's think about it, this is how the new 7 Series looks. And it seems like everything is the same. Nothing has changed. But the glasses are attached to the top of the hat, damn it. It's complete nonsense. The same goes with the car itself. It's supposed to be a 7 Series, a BMW, and everything seems fine. Everything is normal, you can live with it. But there are a few aspects. Nothing in the exterior of this BMW. If only they removed that radiator grille, it's done. It's not BMW anymore. It's like a Chinese. It's really a strange instrument cluster now. Just like in any other car. The previous generation, the G11 7 Series, had something exceptional. It stood out, everything about it was liked, the finish, the buttons that were unique to the series. It was richer, cooler, more vibrant than the 5th Series and so on. Now I'm switching from the JAC Chinese car to a BMW 7 Series, and I see an absolutely identical instrument panel. Clearly it has better graphics and insane features, but my overall perception of the car doesn't change. If I switch from a car worth $2,000 to a car worth $20,000 is a huge problem. The new 7 Series is rapidly losing its identity. It's no longer a higher series BMW. It's just something loaded with fancy electric gadgets. There are no distinguishing features left, not like the previous 7 Series. They even took away the sport, individual and comfort buttons. Now it's just my own emotions that exist. Comfort means relaxation, something expressive, and so on. Everything here is completely different. It's a new story written from scratch, right here and now. We fought for a long time for a certain continuity, for the strictness of the brand, for certain family traits, for some traditions that are inherent to BMW, and especially the 7 Series. And with the stroke of a pen, all of that is destroyed. There is nothing of the 7 Series that we know anymore, except for the size and the luxury behavior on the road. Yes, I agree, it drives amazingly. Considering that we're standing by the 7 Series, the epitome of style, all the technologies, solutions, design elements that we first saw in the 7 Series later trickle down to the more affordable series, the business class, the 5th Series, the X Series, and even the 3rd Series. But now they all fell down from above at once, like a piano. Can you imagine what? They're eradicating the BMW family, in fact, with the 7. They do, I do not know, something ordinary. In the reviews of the 7, we put on clear music, we put on grandiose music, we put on classical music, and both BMW suit it. It is both for the driver and the drivers, and luxuries for the backseat, and for the boys. This car is not clear. Is there a super luxury in it? Yes. But it hides behind Chinese light bulbs, gadgets, and it blurs the eye. Because of this, the luxury behind it is no longer visible, because you just have everything jumping, constantly flashing, and you don't know how to deal with it all at once. A luxury lies in some basic values. How you sit, how you feel, what materials do you have at hand, how much do you generally feel harmoniously inside this car, and not like a smartphone that you bought and ask your son to sort it out. Because this or that function doesn't work and you don't understand it. Can you imagine how a wealthy man of 50-60 years old will struggle with these doors, which are now closed and not closed, as they need, what do they need? It will be infuriating. Therefore, always such super, pretentious options went extremely carefully into the new 7s. And now they all fell from above at once like a piano. Just on the hump of this poor man, and he stands and doesn't know what to do with it. Like me, for example. Why does the door not close? What is happening? And these are the people who are not used to listening to advice, who are always right about everything. They command and set the rules around them, and the 7 will break them, including the design. The future is uncertain, gentlemen. This is the very future that is not worth looking into, and it is clear that there will be more civilian versions with human motors, with human, perhaps even doors that will not open themselves, and so on. Return the human dashboard and return the sport button to normal, so that you can turn on, and that's it. There is a boost button that replaces, rather, not one button but one pedal. Even the second pedal is gone now. Yes, we have not found how to turn off the stabilization. Perhaps it's somewhere. That is in the menu when connecting BMW ID. Not even Vladislav, but someone else's, and maybe even the monitor at the back will work. How many failures? It was nevertheless still a great, grandiose, perfectly driving, super comfortable BMW of the 7 Series. I'm sincerely glad that it has fallen into our hands. Now everyone writes in the comments about each model. It won't come in, then no one needs it, but gentlemen, in the world of endless abundance, endless choice of the option you need, and right now, this is what the Russian car market looks like. You can buy everything. What you have never been able to buy before, starting from Chinese brands that you never heard of before, and now they're at every turn, ending with the most departed complete sets that have never been delivered to Russia. You can buy all this yourself and vote for it with your ruble. Here's the question. Will buyers vote for it? Thank you all so much for watching this video. For the first time, we finished the reviews of the 7th with a slight sadness, but nevertheless, good luck to all of you guys. We're holding on, and we're waiting for a car for straight people. If we found one, we will definitely tell you. Good luck, and so far.